How are you? Happy Monday. Here we go, back from vacation. So happy to be here, back in the saddle again. I am so amped and pumped up. Got to hold myself back today. And today, I want to dig into the concept and the conversation of reinvention. Are you trying to reinvent yourself? Have you ever tried? Or you're thinking about maybe doing that? I do it every summer. For at least a month, I focus on reinventing myself. And then I do it in the wintertime, too, sometime around Christmas time. And okay, let's be honest. I do it all the time. I just always reinvent myself. Why? Because reinvention means I'm moving toward the future. I'm not moving toward the past. And we now know, psychologically speaking, that when you have a future that really makes you excited, life is just plain more fun. So I like that. It's a daily boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day. Back from visiting, we stayed in Seven Devils, North Carolina, right in the Banner Elk area. Spent a good amount of time up in Blowing Rock. Why Blowing Rock? Because it's kind of bougie. Kind of like it up there. If you don't know what bougie is, call your friend in California. They'll tell you. Kind of a cool place. My name is Scott Smith. Happy to have you back here today. Monday, even in the summertime, we always start with a very simple thing. I have you do your homework. And do it right now if you want to, or you can wait till after the show. That's cool too. One question you have to answer. How's my life going? Because I found this, almost everybody I talk to, and I do a lot of calls, a lot of Zoom calls. I chat with a lot of people every single week. And it's pretty amazing. Most people, and I'm generalizing, but it's my experience. They never actually ask themselves, how's my life really going? What's good? What's bad? They never take kind of a measure of their progress. And it's so much better when you do that. When you stop and you say, how's my life going? And truly say, well, I've done this and this and this. And yeah, maybe I didn't do that. It's so much better than trying to set a goal and running after things that you can't imagine. It's so much easier just to look at how far you've come. So look at your homework today. Do your homework and ask yourself, how's my life going? Okay, bougie. That's just fun to say. If I ever have a winter home in North Carolina, it's probably going to be up in Banner Elk, just kind of digging it. Why? It's bougie. So, stop it, Scott. So let's do some reinvention stuff. Even without a plan, because that's big and hot on the internet these days. You can do this even if you can't do that. Have you read those headlines yet? It's crazy. For the last couple of years, I made a decision, and if you listen to me for a while, listen, I walk my talk. I'm transparent. I do what I do. If you listen back on the 500 shows, there is quite the drama there with 500 shows on this feed I have. Because I just get out and live my life. I go for it. I'm always reinventing myself. And I made a decision that I really wanted to change a lot about my life. At the time, by the way, this time around, we owned an alpaca farm. We had 12 acres and I had about a dozen alpacas. My wife's idea, I supported it 1,000%. And I supported getting out of it 1,000%. Sometimes you get into it, you go, what was I thinking? That's what she said. I knew what she was thinking before she got into it, but it took her 4 years to figure out what she was thinking. I just knew. But anyway, we got out of that. But I made this thing when I got out of the alpaca farm. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this thing called Operation Reinvention. Somebody give me a theme song. Now, I didn't have much of a plan. People said, Scott, what's your plan? You're in this motivational thing. You're a coach. You help people all over the world. You must have a plan, a master plan of operation. You know every single step. You have a roadmap and a framework, don't you, Scott? Nah, not really. Didn't care about it. You ever just kind of like, okay, I just want to change. I don't like what's going on. I kind of dig it, but I really want something different. What do you want? I don't really know. I wouldn't say I was winging it, but sometimes you have no idea what kind of plan you need, do you? You kind of know what you want, but you don't know what you need. Or maybe you know what you need, but you don't know what you want. But I did have a mindset. It was a pretty simple mindset. This might be too simple for you to comprehend, honestly, because some of you are fancy people. I'm just saying. What single change can I make that would automatically and positively disrupt everything in my life and put me at a better place? A single change that would just automatically take care of everything and put me in a better place. Now, I've done this a long time, and I know two things. I know, first off, it's never automatic and easy, is it? It's just not. It's just always a mess. Something always gets foobarred in the process. It does. At the same time, the trick is the click. It's that millisecond in time when even if you don't know what, you don't know where, you don't know who, you don't know how, even you don't know any of that stuff, sometimes it just clicks and you go do something. And essentially what I do is I have this concept I call exploring the possibilities. And that's what I went to do. I said, I want to reinvent myself. Don't know exactly what I want to do, but let me go figure it out. Let's explore the possibilities. I'll know it when I see it. Why? Because I operate a lot like a divorced woman. Now, I'm sure this happens with divorced men too, but it definitely happens with divorced women because I happen to have massive experience with women. I'm just saying, divorced women of all types. Okay, that didn't sound very good, did it? I coach them, okay? They get on the phone and they want to reinvent themselves, and they've been through stuff. And so, I'm a highly professional coach, and I start my conversation. I say, so, silly question. I know you want a relationship. You want a man. What do you want in your man? Well, not necessarily a man. If you're married, doesn't matter what you want. What do you want? And every single time, without exception, it's always, they tell me what they don't want. The list goes on and on and on. They will tell me completely what they don't want. And I get why, because that's what hurt. That's the pain. That's the past. Also, it's a whole lot easier too, because, well, actually it's not easier. It's harder. It's easier to gripe and live in the past because that's the bad stuff, but that's not the happy stuff. And it's so hard. You got to work hard to do that. But it's a whole lot easier to say what you do want. Because if you ask somebody who's been divorced and has got that attitude because they've earned that attitude, it's called wisdom. And you ask them, and if it's a woman, I can almost guarantee you 99% of the time she'll say, I just want somebody who'll make me laugh. That's about it. Wait a second. You just spent 20 minutes telling me what you don't want, and all you got to laugh? Yeah. So when I set up on my Operation Reinvention, I didn't want goals. They're cool. You should use them. Sometimes you got to follow your gut, go with the flow like I was doing, figure things out along the way. It's what I was doing. I'm an outcome-based guy, if only because something's going to happen, right? Might not be a great outcome, but something's going to happen. But instead, I operated like one of these ladies I'd talked to over the years. I said, I don't know exactly what I want, but I'll know when I see it. And I'm just willing to explore the possibilities until I get it. But there's one thing I did want to get to before I finish the show. If you stuck with me this long, God bless you for doing that, because I'm back from vacation. But there's one thing that I did do, one change when I answered that question. What was the one thing that I could do that would change everything? And the one thing became rethinking how I use my time. It's one of those freedoms that if you have time for everything. You have time to make money, time for relationships, time for everything, time for your job, time for your kids. If you make more time, you take control of your time, you rethink how you use your time, you create that time freedom, and everything else in your life begins to arrive. So what I did was I just kind of compressed my time, doing exactly what I love to do and none of what I don't like to do. And when I got all the stuff I'd love to do done, I just went and did the other stuff I'd love to do. And it's massively changed how I live my life. We're going to talk a whole lot more about that as we get into August and start rethinking, bring back something I actually did about a dozen years ago, totally remaking it. I'm not going to say what it is. You probably know what it is, but it's going to be awesome. And we're going to help you master these things about your life. So, okay, what do I have to talk about? Oh, yes. Go to my Daily Boost podcast on Facebook and say hello. Just go to dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. Come on in. And if you'd like to be a premium member, that's there for you, too. Just go to dailyboostpremium.com. Get it commercial free and a whole lot more, too. And if you want to deal with me, talk with me, chat with me, right now, just send a note to support@motivationtomove.com. That's where you can get me today. That's going to change here pretty soon. Sarah may answer your email, but she will forward it to me. And I will get back to you. That's a promise. All right. I'm going to go have some fun here. Then, wait a second. I was just having fun. Now what I'm going to do? Oh, well, we'll figure it out. See you tomorrow.